Hello everyone, today we're going to be jumping into a premiere draft for Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth. Let's go ahead and get right on into it. And the drafting begins. Alright, well, right off the bat, Witch King, we're going to go ahead and take this, but let's take a look at some of the other cards in the pack as well. Looking good so far, but this is a no-brainer pick. Let's see, so not too much black here. We could go black-red, thinking about that, but we're going to see what our opponents give us first. Alright, it's about time. We'll go ahead and pick our Witch King. Now, Witch King is going to be an excellent threat for us, and its ability here, causing our opponents to sacrifice creatures after they deal damage to us, is going to be so amazing. Getting indestructible as well by discarding a card is going to make this so hard to deal with. This is a must include in our deck. Now let's take a look at what we've got here. Opponents holding on to 2 packs. This could bode well for us. If our opponent's away, we might get our chance at another rare high value card. Alright, Mines of Moria. Now, if we're thinking about red, we could take the mines. However, I'm currently believing that we're going to want our creature destruction here. I like this. It's in our color. Removal is super important in limited formats. So we're going to go ahead and take that. That's going to synergize well. Okay. Now, a couple of other options in black. I don't think we need to start splashing into another color just yet. I do like this. Slowly building out a high curve. We're going to want to see a couple more low value spells, a little bit more interaction. But we are getting there. Also, by heavily focusing on our main color, which is black in this first pack, hopefully we can convince our opponents to stay away from that as they start drafting into the other packs. They'll see that there aren't as many options available to them. But everything's looking good so far. Okay. Now we've got a couple more options. Let's see. What might we want to do here? We can start splashing blue, perhaps. That could be strong, given how we're leaning towards the late game. Give us some early interaction. Can also pick up the Haunt here. This is going to be a good early game card to get out on the battlefield. We can use him as a blocker and get some additional value over the course of the game. Similarly, let's see. I think we're going to go with the Haunt here. Lower our curve just a little bit. Alright. Now we have a couple more choices. Nobody seems to be on blue. Now I am also trying to build out a collection. We might want to just pick Rivendell here. Other options would be these two. Now, Shelob's Ambush is a good card for us. And what do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're gonna take the Rivendell though. This will also help us if we do, in fact, decide to go blue. Alright. Last black card here. Get some ability for the ring to start tempting us. We do want to try and build a deck that can hit that 4th level of our ring emblem. Don't want to go for too many colors, though. Next pack's rare is going to be pretty important for us. Either way, though, being able to get 1 mythic and 1 rare already in our first round of draft is really good for us. Puts us in a great spot. Similarly, the scrying on Rivendell is going to be so good if we decide to splash blue. I'm going to go ahead and put this over in our sideboard for right now, though. We have plenty of other options as well. Alright. Let's see. Interesting. Now, this is going to be a good spell to lock down one of our opponent's creatures. Can also grow one of our own. I think we're going to go with Disruption. I like Disruption. Now this can be countered by +1 counter addition, but that means that our opponent is going to have to waste a +1/+1 counter to untap one of their creatures. Feels pretty good. Let's see. Now, Arwen's Gift could be good for pushing us into more value in the late game, since it can be cheaper. But this here is going to be a great aura as well. We're going to go ahead and keep this. It's lower on our mana slots. Let's see. Alright, we're going to grab the ambush. We do want to focus on having some more creatures to actually get the payoff there. Okay, can't be blocked. Very powerful. And we're slowly starting to curve out. Having more early game plays is super important for our deck. Alright, we're going to grab the envelope here. Throw that in the sideboard. I'm not sure if we're going to need the mana fixing yet, but it's good to have it. Alright. There's some redundancy on our unblockable threat. Or potentially unblockable. We do need to scry for that. We're going to see if we have other ways of scrying as well. We're slowly going to build out the deck. We can always remove these if we don't need them. As it currently stands, we are working our way up towards our late game. Alright, well, we'll just take the ambush here. We might not need both of them. Food token's going to help us stabilize. We're definitely going for more of a control matchup. Draw a card, discard a card. I don't know how I feel about this. I'm going to put that on the sideboard. Alright, well, look at that. Okay, that's an easy pick. Let's look at the rest of the pack, though. Looking good there. What do we have in terms of blue? Yep. Yeah, we're definitely leaning into the control strategy, and the fact that we have so many rares in our colors is absolutely amazing for us. These extra treasures are going to work really well to ramp us as well. Taking a look. Alright. Hold on to a couple of packs over there. We should be seeing them soon. But yes, we're definitely going to be wanting to ramp up to our late game threats. I actually don't feel bad about picking a couple more high-costed threats for our deck. Now, let's see. We could pick this just because it's a rare. Just taking a look at the cards here. Shire Terrace is fixing, but we don't quite need that. Arwen's Gift is also good, but that made it around to us last time as well. I think we're just going to take the Flame. That's just one free rare card for me. Throw it, throw it over in the sideboard to keep. We've also been super fortunate with rares so far, in that we're already ahead of the curve for the deck. Oh, and there's another one. Now, Elrond is good. Gives us the scry. I think we're... Do we want this? I think we do. We're going to take it just because it's a rare. It's blue and black as well. We can put it in our deck. I think we want this in our deck as well. It's going to help us get our cards. We do have the potential issue of one of our bombs getting put into our graveyard, which we wouldn't really want to happen. Now let's see. Now, Mirror is really good, starting to give us those scry triggers. I do like that. Let's see. This lets us get an instant or sorcery back. Also not bad with removal. This can disrupt the board state, and this is just a great enchantment. Let's see. People have been off blue and black, so we're going to take the Mirror here. We'll see. We can find more later. Alright. Sacrifice a creature, destroy target creature. That's not terrible. It's cheap removal, and I like it a little bit more than Shelob's. Alternately, we could take the Stern Scolding. Stern Scolding could be pretty good for us. I actually think I like the Stern Scolding more than the Lash, just because I'm not sure if we're going to have those creatures to sacrifice. Let's see. This will help grow small guys. I don't think we want the mill there. We're gonna go ahead and take the basin, put that in the sideboard. That'll be a choice for later. Alright. Could be good as well. I do like Flash and Scrying. We're a little creature light, so let's go ahead and grab that here. Alright, well, there's the Knife Wound. It's gonna be good. Grab another one. Really, we're trying to deal with our opponent's board as best we can. Now, we are also going to want about 17 lands in our deck, so we can only have 16 slots left over when we get towards the end of the game. So once we have 24 cards over here, that's when our deck is going to be closer to where it is. I do like throwing cards I don't think we're going to use into the sideboard early, so that it's going to make the deck building part a little bit faster. Alright, I do like this. Countering a creature. It's leading into our board control. And Scrying and Drawing is perfect for our deck. So we can only slot in 4 more cards, and we have a whole nother pack. We'll be able to decide what we want to keep and what we don't going forward. Alright, there's another mirror. I don't think we want Black Breath here. Not a lot of 1-powered creatures. Yeah, I'm cool just keeping the bird instead. We'll throw this in the sideboard. Okay, yeah, there's the Lash. We'll grab that. We definitely have too many 1-costed spells right now, so we are going to have to parse that down. Alright. Right off the bat. So there's a decent first pack. I'm just going to keep our rare here. I think the Patrol is going to be what we're going to want to pick for the late game later. But let's just take a rare off. Alright. Well, here's a Fell Beast. That's really good for us. Let's see if there's anything else that we want. Great Hall is also pretty good. But we're going to keep the Fell Beast. I do like that. Now, we do only have room for 1 more card in our deck after we go to lands. So we are going to want to start removing things. Or at least thinking about what we're removing. Right off the top of my head, Shelob's Ambush and this Mirror can probably go. That's going to give us 3 more cards if we need them. Okay. Mirkwood Bats is good, but not necessarily good in our deck currently. We're just going to grab the rare. Playing a fun game of grab the rare cards. Just as a friendly reminder, you don't always have to draft perfectly to win at draft. Alright, there's another mirror. Okay, I do like the Vanguard here. It's a good early creature. Can also draw 3 cards. This is going to give us more gas in the late game. I kind of like this more. Let's take that for right now. We're going to throw the mirror on our sideboard, as well as the ambushes. We can pull them back in later if we want to. Alright, Knife Wound is good. But I think we want the Desperate Rescue here. We have plenty of removal, but being able to get a creature back is going to be good for us, especially since we have such powerful creature threats. This can definitely stabilize us into the late game and lets us be a little bit more aggressive with trades as well. So 2 more cards that we can grab here. Packs are slowly making their way around. Now, we can always bring back the ambushes if we want to. We can play the Captain. It is a 3-mana creature. Not too bad. Alright, let's see what we have. Mirkwood Bats is in our colors. We also have the Grey Havens. Grey Havens gives us a scry trigger. It's kind of a fun land. I think out of all of these, this is going to be the best one for us to take. Yeah, and we'll take it. We might not include it in our mana base, but it shouldn't be too bad for us. Alright. Now this is mana fixing, but I don't think we need it with our 2-colored deck. Right now I'm leaning towards the Willow Wind here. Getting extra scries, being a decent body as well, and flying for evasion. We'll keep that. Alright, now let's see. Picking a card out of our opponent's hand, that could be good. Honestly, I think we're going to be better going with Loreleth. And then here we go. I like drawing cards and I like growing threats. That looks pretty good to me. Okay, yep. Go for the Grey Hall, pick some lands. Okay, just throw that over there. Grab this. Scarecrow. We are currently 1 card over because 2 that we picked are lands. But now it's about time to see what we got for a deck. Alright, so very close here. The real question is, what do we want to cut, and do we want to keep all of these lands? Fixing for legendary creatures doesn't really matter. And legendary creatures in the graveyard. I do like the scrying, though. Our only 2 pips are on our high expensive spells. And we do have more access to black mana because of that. I think I'm okay trying out both of these lands. If we see that there's an issue with that, we can go ahead and fix that in post. Now, I think maybe it's the Willow Wind that we get rid of here. I think we have a lot of expensive cards in this deck. And I do want to play around keeping our good early curve. Now, Lash of the Balrog here is going to be good because it's destroy target creature for 5 in the late game. And we can cheat it out by sacrificing a creature. I do kind of like that. Especially since we have this Haunt that's like a mini sacrifice synergy. Not that we're going to hit it. Strong early game curve. I think that this is good enough to go with. I think we'll keep this deck and see how it does. Alright, and here we go into game 1. Interesting starting hand. We can cycle this for an island. We have a flash creature. We can return a creature. This isn't bad. I think we're going to want to see more lands so we can make our way up towards that Witch King. I'm going to start with a black land. You're going to have to decide whether or not we want to go for the island cycling here. I think the answer is going to be no. We'll be able to make a better decision after our next turn, depending on what we draw. Alright, there's a Knife Wound. Alright. End the turn. I think we will go for the island cycling at the end of our opponent's turn. That's going to guarantee our land drop so we can play out the Navigator. Okay. Ending the turn. We can flash this in on the end of our opponent's turn. The Scry might help us find another land as well. Alright. Looks good. Okay. Flash this in at the end of turn. Perfect. Alright, play out our land. Start by moving to combat. I'm fine with swinging. good. Now we're gonna play out Goth mode and make an army of our own. Now our army has Death Touch, making it so much harder for our opponents to swing into us. And we're in a great spot for next turn. We can play our Watcher and enchant one of our opponent's creature. That could be really strong. If we draw another land, we have the Witch King. I do like playing out the Witch King and holding on to some cards to keep him alive with Indestructible. Alright. Opponent plays the Trebuchet. I mean, we'll just block like this. I don't want to risk our Lieutenant just yet. And I do want to get rid of their army. Yep. That's fine. Opponent did have interaction there. Okay. Now, we didn't draw the land, unfortunately. Let's start by moving to combat. We've got a couple of different choices. Opponent's gonna block one of these. Neither of them can die, though. So we will get 3 damage through here. Looks good. Now we can play out the Watcher, or we can play out our Knife Wound and hold up a Stern Scolding. Not quite sure what I think is going to be better here. I think Knife Wound on the army is going to be better for us. That's going to set back our opponent from their amass plan. Now, do we want to play out the Watcher this turn? I think we do. I'm not concerned about holding up Stern Scolding at the moment. Now this is going to start killing our opponent. 2 damage at a time, unless they get rid of their army. I'm more than fine with them exiling the army. And the reason we went with the army instead of the Trebuchet is because this is going to set our opponent behind. They're also not going to be able to get that 2-1 construct. They can probably kill one of our creatures, and that's fine. See, we also have Sam's Rescue here. This is gonna we're gonna want to save that for one of our better creatures. We have a smaller Scry synergy as well here. It would be fun if we drew a card that let us Scry next turn so we can get in for 3 damage. Or 3 additional damage. Yep, there's the army again. Alright, cycles for a mountain. That's fine by me. Alright, well, here's Scrying. And drawing. We can go ahead and bottom that. Looks good. We're gonna play out our blue land to hold up Stern Scolding. And I think we just swing out here. Opponent can kill their army to block this, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Yep. Looks good. Still gonna get 3 damage through, pushing for that damage. Next turn, we have the Witch King. That's gonna be so good for us. And we're holding up Stern Scolding as well, just in case our opponent has a smaller creature. Yep, looks good. Perfect. Opponent down at 11. They do have access to 7 mana. I am a little concerned about a very large threat coming out of our opponent, but we will see. Okay, that's fine. Well, let's play out the Witch King. And there is no need to attack just yet. We can always discard a card to give him indestructible as well. With flying, we're also in a great spot. Looks like we have our opponent on a 2-turn clock. There's a couple of things we can do. Next turn, we can get back our Navigator with the Ritual, or the Rescue, and then get that Scry trigger for an unblockable Watcher. We have another Watcher in our hand as well. Alright. Gotta scold this guy. Witch King has indestructible. Okay. Yep, can't block. Unless you control a goblin or orc, which they do not. Okay, now that we have 10 damage on the board, Rivendell is fun. We're gonna go ahead and get our Navigator back. Opponent can't block here. They will be able to crew, though. Let's see, Ring Bearer. Let's go. There we go. This should be much better. I believe we have it now. Now that he's our Ring Bearer, he won't be able to get blocked by the Gatebreaker because of that greater power. Don't want to draw another land. That's going to give our +1. Okay, and now here we are swinging for 11. Opponent's not going to be able to deal with this. Yep, that's fine. I think they're about to realize that they can't block either of our creatures. Yep, and we've got it. Alright, and here we are on the play into the next game. I mean, how could I say no to a hand that has the Witch King and plenty of lands to start gassing them? Alright, now we're gonna see if that Grey Havens is gonna pay off for us. Let's start with a Swamp. Okay. Sure. Alright, opponent on a Celestia deck. Gonna play out our Watcher here. Next turn, with our other black land, we can destroy a creature, make this our Ring Bearer if we'd like. It is nice to have removal. We also have Lorith. Alright. But with no ability to scry, we are gonna start by swinging out for 2. And no need to waste our turn. Let's play out Lorith. Alright, you keep drawing the lands, puts us in a pretty good spot. Now I'm just gonna swing out like this. Good, we've got it. End the turn. No need to destroy this yet. We can, if they swing out, untap and block with the 2/1. Can also just block with a 1/4. Yeah. Permanent control, yep. Looks good. Let's see if they decide to swing. They do not. Smart choice. Just gonna gain some life. I'm fine with that. There's the +1/+1 counter. Let's play out the Grey Havens, Scry. We're not gonna need another land here. We now have an unblockable Watcher. Let's move to combat. Swing out. Down at 16. And it's Witch King time. End the turn here. Witch King is going to make it so hard for our opponent to attack us, since they'll have to sacrifice one of those attacking creatures. Can protect it. Do you think it's funny that we have Stern Scolding again in our hand to protect our Witch King? Gotta teach our opponent a lesson. It's dangerous on the battlefield. Also, one thing that I haven't pointed out yet is our opponent also has a mountain in addition to the plains. So it looks like they are trying some sort of 3-colored deck. There's a chance that their mana just isn't good enough to cast some of the spells that they want. Definitely try and keep your colors as few as possible when you're playing. In draft, you don't want to overly diversify your deck. Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Alright. It's time to scold them. I feel like nobody reads what the Witch King does. Yeah, we got it. Alright, opponent goes first. We are on the draw here. Now, definitely have a higher curve, but I'm going to be okay with keeping this. I think we're going to draw into some of our smaller threats. I think being able to draw some cards in the late game is also good. Opponent starts with a tap land. We're actually not going to be using this for island cycling because we have plenty of lands at our disposal. The slower our opponent plays, the better for us. Alright. So far, I feel pretty good about this. We built our deck to excel at the late game, and our opponent has essentially skipped out on their first 2 turns, playing a tap land and then fixing with the Shire Terrace. They're on a red-white deck. Okay, that's 3 colors. Sure. Yeah. Ramping off second spells. Okay. Lorith here. He won't be able to attack this way. He can still get through 1 damage with the Lancer. Again, our early game strategy is just to slow our opponents down, and the longer we do that for, the better off we're going to be. Next turn, we've got Gothmog. Interesting. Now, we do have a choice here. Honestly, I don't think our opponent would attack unless they can protect, and for the first amount of combat damage, I don't think it's time yet. We're going to let our opponent keep playing slow. Alright, looks good. Alrighty. No attacks, end the turn. We've got ourselves a really nice board now. Okay, we'll see if our opponent has any equipment. Or if they just took him because he's a rare. I mean, a 4/4 for 4 isn't too terrible and limited. Next turn, we can draw 3 cards, though. That's going to put us in a great spot. See if our opponent attacks again. Into the Death Touch Orc army. It's not very advisable. Yep. Okay, opponent amasses 0. Now, he may have the ability to give Indestructible. I'm going to test that here. Additionally, I am going to double block here. If he can give Death Touch, it's with +2/+1, so he'll only kill one of these 2 threats. Yep. So, gives Death Touch, gives Indestructible would be the worst. Yep, makes sense. There's the ambush. He'll kill Gothmog. Ah, yep, deals 1 to each. That's right. Either way, our opponent's board is rather clear. Oh, okay, so now we're faced with an interesting decision. I think we're actually gonna play out the Knights this turn. We have the Rescue to get back Gothmog if we want to. I think that's That's going to be good in the future. But I definitely like playing out the knights before we draw our 3 cards, get some more gas. This is going to be a growing threat over the course of the game as well. So we have a couple of ways to draw more than 1 card on our turn. We already have 5 mana with 6 in our hand. That's going to be more than enough to get us through the rest of the game as well. Now we can attack and get in for 2. I don't see a reason not to. Looking good. So we're going to want to prioritize dealing some damage. Alright, Bill the Pony. Yep, make some foods. Bill will be a 4/4 if he sacks one of those. Alright. Hang on, let's do this the right way. Hold up our black mana. Draw 3 cards. That way we can play out our Haunt. Yep. We can give our opponent treasures. That's gonna be fine. Witch King on top. Perfection. Couldn't ask for better than that. Alright, swing for 4. He can block and trade if he wants to. That gets rid of Bill. Again, the fewer threats our opponent has, the better off we are. Looking good. And I definitely don't mind taking more aggressive trades. Especially since I know we are playing towards that late game. Sure, yeah. That's fine by me. Yep, losing life, making a treasure. I will block if he attacks. He chooses not to, which is the correct move. Alright, Witch King. We'll play out another land as well. End the turn. Now, with Haunt of the Dead Marshes and the Witch King, it's going to be so difficult for our opponent to ever damage us. We can block their larger threat, and then their smaller threat will get through, making them sacrifice one of their attacking creatures. We're a little afraid of exile-based removal for our Witch King. That's pretty much the only way around that. If he does get targeted, we're going to discard the land. We have plenty of cards in hand, though. Our opponent's not going to have 4 removal spells for Witch King. We can also just block his creature there. Alright, well, there's the equipment synergy. That's pretty fun. Opponent also has the Haunt. Losing life, making some treasures. We'll go ahead and scry. Next turn, we've got the Ransom. Ransom's going to be really good for us. Give us some more cards. Have the ring starting to tempt us. Yeah, looks good. Alright. Now, do we want to block here? I actually think we do. Discard that swamp. Back to my turn. Now this is interesting. We can kill his sheriff, but I don't think we want to. See, this is an instant, so we can cast that on their turn as well. I think we could play out the Kingfisher. I kind of like that. We're going to play out the Kingfisher. Let's move to combat. 3 damage. or 5 damage. End the turn. Keep some cards in our hand. It doesn't matter what we get off the ransom, because we can always discard that to Witch King. I'd love to see our opponent try with removal. And if we don't go for the ransom, we can just bring back our Haunt. I like that play as well. Get us some recurring value. I do almost want our opponent to keep the Sheriff, just because of that second spell potential. Now, if we block the Haunt here, he's going to have to sacrifice one of the other two. But this is a legendary creature, which he can use to bring back the Haunt. Alright, we'll block like this. That's fine. Yep, sure. Orc army gets bigger. Sheriff can't die, that's fine. We take 3 damage. Opponent's gonna have to sacrifice the Haunt here. Yep. We'll draw a card. Alright, Lash is good. Like having removal. I think we're just gonna bring the Haunt back so it can be untapped. Next turn we'll be able to swing in for another 5. I think we're sufficiently slowing our opponent down. Right, there's the Haunt. Scry, okay. Arwen's Gift is good, I like that. Moving on to my turn. Let's go for the Arwen's Gift first. Another creature. That seems pretty okay. Oh, and there's the Fell Beast. Alright. Move to combat. Drain our opponent for 1 off his Sheriff. Get rid of the army. We're going to keep the Witch King as our Ring Bearer. End the turn. Now, if our opponent doesn't play out more creatures next turn, Fell Beast is going to be really good. We do want our opponent sacrificing a creature. We also have our Lash with the Haunt and Fell Beast if we draw another land. Or, sorry, 7? Yeah, we've got it. Looks good. Alright, on the play this time. We've got removal, eventually working our way up to some card draw. This is a fine hand to keep. Start with that black land. No turn 1 play out of our opponent. Let's play a tapped Rivendell. Alright. We are going to play out our Watcher here. This way, when we scry next turn to draw cards, we'll get 3 damage through. Alright. That's fine. No need to destroy anything just yet. I don't think we actually want to draw that land there either. Perfect. Alright. Let's go for this. We're just gonna tap down Mirkwood Bats. This is gonna slow down some of our opponent's damage. Alright. Well, a couple of different options here. I do like destroying the Sheriff here. Sure. That's fine by me. We'll play out our Haunt as well. That looks good. We'll be able to make some treasures. Alright, Sauron the Necromancer. That's pretty sick. Let's go ahead and make him a 1/4. A significantly worse 1/4 at that. And let's play out a Kingfisher. We are getting closer to being able to stabilize here. Okay, opponent wanted to keep him, which is interesting. Alright. Okay. That's fine. They'll have to sacrifice their spirit, which they won't. Okay, moving on to blockers. I think we're just gonna block the spirit here, draw a card. We can draw some cards next turn. Okay. I do like the Knights. Let's play the Knights out here. No attacks, we'll end the turn. Can draw some more cards next turn. See if our opponent wants to keep him around. They do not. Alright. On to my turn. We get the Grey Havens. This is gonna let us scry. I do like having Lasher. Draw 3 cards. There's Witch King. Now we can sacrifice our Haunt to kill the Patrol, and I think I definitely want to do that. That's going to keep them off tokens and us off the Mirkwood Bat's life loss. And then we'll swing out with our Knights this turn. We can block a 3/3 with our 1/4. We can also untap that 4/4 and surprise our opponents with a better blocker. Alright. Looking good. On to my turn again. Witch King time. Good to have him on the battlefield. Swinging out. Gonna go with that order. Clear the board. Alright, we're in a pretty good spot right now. That's fine. Let's see who they get back. Alright, makes sense. Looking good. We are at 7, which is a little bit dangerous for us. But with the Witch King as an attacker, should be in a pretty good spot. Loreth is also a great blocker for Ring Bears. Alright, there goes Mirkwood Bats. Okay. Looks good. Draw a card, yep. Alright, no attacks. We couldn't really ask for too much better than that. Move to combat. Swing out with the Witch King. Now, do we want to grab a creature back from our graveyard? I don't think we do just yet. Yeah, we're gonna hang on to all of our cards and our mana. We'll be able to scry and replay out the Haunt. Kind of like that. Fourth from the top. Alright. Well, let's play out our Haunt right now, while we still can. Scry that away. That does get around the Indestructible. Okay. They can sacrifice that food to get rid of Lorith for a little bit. Go ahead and untap here. I don't mind blocking. We're gonna keep us off all the damage we can. Now we do have Flash here, but not worth it. Ah, that's right. Should have scried before we lost our guy. That's fine though. Moving on to my turn. Alright. Knife Wound on Faramir. Gonna play out a land as well. Pass the turn. Alright, Faramir's gone. Okay. Troll is gonna be an issue. Okay, well, let's flash her out. Looking good. Okay, a couple different options here. Play out the Hall. Now, I do think we're gonna want to take one of our creatures back. We're gonna go with the Kingfisher. Okay. No attacks because we need blockers. Unfortunately for us, I think our opponent has us here. Yep, because that's 5. And we have to block with all 3 there. Alright, on the play now. This looks good to me, we'll keep. We've got some early creatures that we can play. We have some interaction. This is looking really good to me. Start with a black land. Next turn we'll play out the Watcher. Our opponent plays out a Lancer. Go ahead and play out our Watcher. Opponent makes some tokens. Sure, they swing out for 3. Alright. End the turn. We're gonna hold up our counterspell here. Now we might want to Island Cycle here. I think we will. Grab that island, make sure we can play out our Lieutenant next turn. Yep. Glad we did that. Sure. Opponent blocks, that's fine. That's just gonna stop them from having a 3/3 Orc army next turn. Definitely want some sort of way to deal with the battlefield. Yep, that's a lot of humans. Yep, and there's the Haunt. Opponent does have a very wide board. Next turn, we've got a couple of different choices. I think we just block like this, unfortunately. Down at 10. That's not too low. Now we can Knife Wound, hold up our counterspell for a creature. That is kind of nice. We can also pass and potentially get value here. Blocking the Haunt. We'd be taking... Let's see, these all have Menace, so we'd have to double block the Haunt. And +1, so 2, 4, 6, 8. That's gonna be 11. So that's not an option. Let's go Knife Wound. Have our opponent get rid of their army. And no attacks, we'll just pass, hold up the counterspell. I'm just gonna exile this to save life. That's fine. Yeah, I mean, they can keep it. That would be the best for us. Yeah, alright, exiled, that's fine. Yes, so we'll only be able to kill one of these creatures. Ah, but that'll do it, 10 damage, alright. 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. Opponent swings, good game. Alright, we are on the draw this time around. This does look like a good starting hand though, so we will keep. Plenty of early game plays. Start with our Haunt. Scry. We're gonna look for the king, maybe more lands as well. Definitely don't need that creature currently. Now, opponent is playing a white deck. Not sure what other color they've chosen to splash. Okay, blue-white. So we're on the lookout for some flyers. Okay. Well, play out a blue land. I'm just gonna swing here. If they take the trade, they take the trade. Looks good. End the turn. Next turn, we can maybe go for the Urkai. Yep. Kingfisher, that's fine. Gonna hang on to our removal. Who do we want our ring bearer to be? We'll just make it the Haunt. We're gonna keep him back as well. I think I'd rather block with him. We'll see if the ring tempts our opponent to attack and trade. We are in a really good spot. Oh, that's very fun. Let's see what they get. Fortunately for us, we do have targeted removal. Yep. That's 2 damage we're gonna take. Moving on to our next turn, we're just gonna swing out now. We're gonna be dealing more damage than our opponent can. Yep. Exactly what I wanted to see there. Because now, can flash her out, exile that, make 2 treasure tokens. And that puts us in a phenomenal spot. Let's see what creature our opponent gets next. We'll be able to draw 3 cards next turn if we want as well. Alright. Okay, looks good. We're gonna deal with this pretty quickly. Have a couple of choices. Knife Wound and our removal spell. We can also just swing out. I want to be keeping fairly consistent damage on our opponent. If we fall too far behind, then we're going to be stuck on blockers. Yeah, let's move to combat first. Sure. Tap and scry. Alright, no need to attack. Then let's draw our cards here. Alright, Fellbeast is a great draw. Keep our treasures. Getting closer to that reduced cost as well. Just need one more legendary creature. We will block with the Haunt. Fellbeast will also be a blocker for their Kingfisher, which I like. That's a little unfortunate. Yep. We're gonna chump here to stop 4 damage. It's gonna be much more worth it. Especially when we have so much removal in our hand. Yep. Alright, well. Fellbeast time. Get ourselves a food. It'd be very unfortunate if we saw a counterspell there, but we did not. This should also put us out of range of our opponent's removal, yep. Looks good. Ending the turn. If we really need to, we can crack our treasures for some extra life. Next turn, I think we're gonna just focus on destroying our opponent's board. Yep, just draws a card. That's fine. If our opponent attacks, we will block. Interesting. Alright, Fellbeast is gone. We'll be taking 4 damage this turn. Opponent with only 2 cards in hand, though. quite fortunately for us, we are going to be able to deal with our whole opponent's board next turn. Looks like we're getting to the point where we're stabilizing. Yep. They're gonna pay the 1. Yep. Opponent's tapped out, so they're not gonna be able to deal with this. Yep. Easy. And then we're just going to go ahead and hit the Kingfisher as well. Stop our opponent from dealing any sort of damage to us. They're not going to pay 2 life, and they're just going to sacrifice it. Down to 2 cards in their hand. We're going to be able to start playing more. If they have more flyers, we can always go ahead and go back and rescue the Fellbeast. We might do that anyway if our opponent only plays out 1 creature. Okay. That looks good. My turn. Alright. We're not gonna take that route. I don't want to waste our Fellbeast on just a Hobbit. Instead, we're gonna build our board state. Even if he can tap one of our creatures, we'll be able to untap with Lorith. We've got the counter tap strategy. Alright, countered. That's fine. Sternly scolded. Either way, we've got a 3/3 and a 1/1 Death Touch, so we will be able to block our opponent's creature when he attacks. Alright, opponent can get 1 damage through now. End turn. They're top decking, though. We've got card draw. I like where we're at. Yep. Now that our opponent's top decking, I do think we are going to go for the Fellbeast next turn. Yep. They can get 2 damage through, bring us down to 4. Let's see if they do. Sacrifice the food. They do not. I'm not going to block anyway. I'm okay going down to 4. Moving on to my turn. Okay, so we can keep their creature tapped. But that's not quite as effective as the Fellbeast is going to be. Alright. Opponent's going to sacrifice. We got the 2 treasures and extra foods. Looks good. Swing out, draw and discard. Do we want the Watcher? I actually don't think we do. Slow and steady, we're going to be getting there now. If our opponent plays a creature, we can tap it down. Next turn, we can also draw. Alright, let's see what they got. Okay, opponent passes. Moving on to my turn. We drew a Lash. Yeah. Gonna swing out here. Draw a card, discard. Okay, I do like Rivendell. I think we're gonna get rid of that, hang on to Lash. Move to damage. Play Rivendell as our land. Let's scry and draw. See if we can find our king. Nope, not yet. End the turn. On our opponent's turn, we can bring back our Haunt. Looks good, yep. That's fine. 3-2. We're just gonna crack a food token. Negate his attack. Okay. Back at 4. And I'm actually okay cracking a treasure here. We'll bring back the Haunt. The Haunt is going to stay as a blocker for us. Nope, don't want to draw a land. Alright, Ransom is really good for us. But we're just going to pay the 5, get rid of Bill. Okay. Moving to combat again. Gonna leave back the Haunt. Let's see what we get here. Okay, discard an island. And we'll just pass again. We can play the Ransom if we want to on our opponent's turn, but I do want to keep that food token available to us. Okay. That's fine. Equip, sure. Yep. Just gonna block, save that damage. Gonna put a stop on our upkeep so we can scry before we draw. And let's go for the Ransom on our opponent's end step. We've got our opponent on a sufficient clock where I'm not concerned about the size of our library anymore either, so we can be very aggressive with our card draw. As it currently stands, we have 2 turns. Alright, well that one's just bad, so we'll take this instead. So much better. We'll move Ringbearer over to the Felby so we can keep our army back. Pre-draw, let's scry. Okay. Cool, grabbing the Kingfisher as well. That has Flash. Moving to our main phase. Alright. Play out our Watcher. Let's play out a land as well. Yep. Moving to combat. Swing for 4, draw, discard. That's the Witch King. Now, as fun as it would be to play out the Witch King this turn, I'm actually not going to do that. We'll have lethal with Fell Beast. Our opponent's going to have to crack to gain some life. Yep. Looks good. So yeah, we do now have lethal with Fell Beast on the board. So I'm not going to play out the Witch King. Instead, we can flash out the Navigator if we have to. And I want to hold up mana for the food so we don't accidentally die here. Yep. That's fine. The ring is tempting our opponent. We can flash this out as a blocker as well, and still have enough mana for that food token. Which I think we'll do. Right? Looks good. Don't want that land. We've got it, alright. Okay, here we are on the draw. Plenty of removal. I don't know if I like our mana where it currently stands, though. Having 2 early blue spells in hand, we are going to take the mulligan, and we flipped it around. I guess we'll keep this. Bottom that. Play into our blue spells. Hang on to Knife Wound. Alright, yeah, we're definitely leaning blue heavy with our starting hand, and I'm okay with that. I think we're just gonna play out the Kingfisher. Next turn we can play our Knights. Okay, opponent hit us for 1, we hit them for 2. That's putting us in a better position. Now being able to tap down the army unless they shrink it could be fun. Okay, Death Touch on the spider. Okay. No blocks. We'll just take all the damage there. We do draw the Witch King. That's awesome for us. Let's tap down their Death Touch creature. Move to combat. Again, they swing for 4, we swing for 5. Slow and steady, gonna be getting ahead. Play out our Watcher. Once we flash this in, we'll get an unblockable Watcher that's gonna help us deal some more damage to our opponent. Now with their blocker there, they'll be able to stop the Knights, so we'll be swinging for 5, 3, they're swinging for 6. I'm actually okay with that, based on our life total. Oh, and another Watcher, hang on. So, instead, we're gonna take a little bit of a riskier play here. Well, not riskier, just less immediate value. We're playing for a later turn. See if they want to keep the patrol. They do not. And by leaving everything untapped, we have those blockers. It is a tempo shift for us. Once we draw a land, we can play our Witch King. But we have 6 damage. Okay. That's 4. We'll be swinging for 6 next time. 8. This will be 11. That forces a block. Or we could stop the 3 with a block here. I do like hedging our life total. We'll block. Okay, Stern Scolding. I like it. Alright, let's go ahead and flash out our Navigator at instant speed. And by that I mean at sorcery speed during the main phase where we could cast it anyway. Opponent down at 6. We're holding up Stern Scolding now, waiting for that land so we can play the Witch King. I don't have an issue blocking here. I also don't have an issue countering. Okay, we'll take 3. Opponent's gonna be tapped out. I mean, we're presenting 6 damage. All right. All right. Unfortunately, that's not what we needed. He'll be able to block one of these. Oh, so I guess we're not going to be able to swing out this turn. Let's just pass. Hold up blockers. Okay. Exiled Graveyard is actually fine for us. Now I feel less bad about blocking with Navigator. We could bring it back for 3 unblockable damage. I will be blocking here in some combination of ways. Okay. We'll just counter that. No reason not to. No bird for you. I think we'll block everything if they swing out, take one off the bird. Then we'll be able to play out, I think, Witch King over Fellbeast. If we draw the land. We'll have a second draw off the bird if they swing. Opponent's also in a difficult spot with 6. Okay, leaving their army behind. That's better for us. We're gonna go ahead and block like this. Keeping up our Watcher, since that's our best attacker. Okay, that's not a land. Hopefully the next card we draw is, then we'll be able to play out our Witch King. It is perfect. Witch King. No attacks are going to end the turn. We'll have to block. Actually, don't mind blocking the orcs with the Witch King. Discard Fellbeast. Hang on to the Ransom, since that's going to accelerate us. If opponent plays out a removal spell before combat. Okay, just a Nazgul. Yep. Tempted by the ring. Okay. It's looking good. If our opponent attacks out with both, okay. That's fine. Draw a card, discard a card. If we can scry here, we're gonna win the game on our next turn. Or, we can just make this our ring bearer, and it can't be blocked by either of our opponent's creatures. Much better. If that's the case, let's just move to combat. Swing out. Discard here. Play out the Fellbeast. They'll sacrifice the spider. We'll have our blocker. And that's a food token, which is also going to help us. Opponent with 2 cards in hand. It's going to be very close. We can't protect the Witch King anymore either. But our Watcher is going to be able to do its damage. Alright. Sure. They play the spider. We still have 5 damage with the Witch King, yeah. Okay, that's to block the Witch King. I mean, we just block here to not die. I mean, I think we just swing out like this. Discard that. Opponent down at 2, and the turn we've got our food token that we can use in response to any damage they have. Yep, sacrifice creature token. That's not haste or reach. Yeah. Up at 5. Let's sacrifice our food, gain our life, and we've got it. Alright, looking good. Alright, here we are on the draw. This looks pretty good to me. I'm actually a-okay keeping this. Having Sauron's Ransom in hand is much better when we also have the Witch King, knowing he's not going to end up in the graveyard. Let's go ahead and keep these 7. Now, I think we're going to start with the Grey Havens for that scry. Glad we did. Don't want to be drawing that just yet. I do want to see some more lands. That's much better. Alright, pass the turn. Alright, opponent's playing it slow, and so are we. pass the turn. I think we can cast the Ransom at the end of our opponent's turn. Okay, they are on 2 colors, black and white. Okay. That's fine. Okay, let's go for the Ransom. See what we end up getting here. We will be able to cast Witch King, so we're not too concerned about our lands anymore. I think if we can see card draw for the Knights, that would be ideal, so we can actually start growing them as a threat. Opponent's really thinking pretty hard about what cards they want to give us before our turn. Alright. Well, I like this. Sure, yeah, we got rid of a counterspell and a Fell Beast, but we have the ability to get it back. That's about as good as it could be. Alright, play out our Knights. We've got a good blocker now. Next turn, we'll have Witch King. And again, I think the removal in limited is going to be better than a counterspell. Sure, can't gain life, that's fine. Right, Witch King time. Go ahead and get him out on the battlefield as early as we can. That's going to start putting our opponents on a clock as well. And with a full hand to keep him nice and safe, I am not worried about any of our opponent's removal. There is still exile removal, but if it's creature-based exile removal, we can destroy that creature, get Witch King back. So, still feeling pretty good. We do have Lash of the Balrog to get rid of anything that can block our Witch King as well. Knife Wound, similarly, to deal with the pesky creature. Yep. We'll see if they're part of the brigade that doesn't read everything that the Witch King does and target him with a removal spell. So yeah. Opponent does have a whole bunch of mana. Don't think they're going to be swinging out just yet, but we have them on a 4-turn clock. As it stands, that puts us in a pretty good spot. They can't gain life, or sorry, opponents, they can gain life. They're not able to swing out this turn either, so this is kind of a free turn. And with only 4 cards in hand, I'm curious. Alright, there's Faramir. Now we might just hit Faramir with the Knife Wound. I think that would be pretty good for us. No need to just remove him outright. Yep. Alright, we do have card draw as well. Alright, let's move to combat first, though. Just swing out. Looks good. We can also get that Fell Beast back. That would also be really strong for us and accelerate our game plan. Yep. Looks good. End the turn here. We can still flash out our creatures, but I'm going to want to see if we block first. Or even better, if they choose to sacrifice. Yep, opponent gets rid of their food token for the life, move into their upkeep. I don't think they're going to choose to keep Faramir, but if they do, it's going to deal a whole bunch of damage to him. He has other abilities, so maybe they'll keep him around. They do? Alright, that's about the best I can ask for. Yep. Alright, well, that's funny. Conveniently enough for us, let's go ahead and flash out. Our opponent has enabled us to get those extra treasure tokens. Love that. Puts us in a really good spot. The treasures are going to fix a whole bunch of our issues that we're running into with the black mana. Not that they're really issues. Yep, here's a fun game of target opponent can't read. Let's go ahead and get rid of that. If they have another removal spell, we'll just discard another card. It doesn't really matter, we'll be drawing more cards next turn. Yep. We've got Indestructible now. Pretty good. Opponent can't attack. Actually, we're set up really well to attack next turn. Yeah, there we go, that's much better. Make me start paying for it. Which I will. My turn? Yep. I'll pay that 2 life. Let's draw 3 cards. Get our +1/+1 counter. Okay. Swing out. Yep. This is fine. Let's play the Berserker out. See, who do we want our ring bearer to be? I mean, we're going to be attacking with the Witch King each turn. Trying to get our value out of that, so let's go ahead and make him our ring bearer. Now, notably, if the damage is ever too much for us to deal with, we can always sacrifice it for Lash, return it to our hand, and then recast him. And we might just do that pretty soon. Yep. Pay 2 life for the last time. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best way to do it. We could alternatively get back the Fell Beast. But I don't think that's going to be the best choice for us. So here's what we'll do. We'll sacrifice a creature. Yep. The creature is the Witch King. He'll be destroyed. He'll sacrifice to Grima, that's fine. Amass some more. Yep. Now, we will grab our Witch King, and look at that, he's good as new. And we'll have plenty of mana to cast him. Who do we want our ring bearer to be? Let's go with you, since you're going to be able to get that combat damage through. Double black. There's the Witch King. Still holding up a Stern Scolding. Now move to combat, get in for 2 damage, draw and discard. See what we find. Rivendell? I actually don't think we want Rivendell. Scrying is good, but we're in a really good spot on the board as well. That's 2 damage that we're going to deal. And then in 2 more turns, with our Witch King, we'll be able to get there. Maybe even faster. Alright, well, I mean, let's just get rid of that. Feel like there's no reason letting our opponent resolve a creature spell if we don't have to. If they have something else, that's fine. But I imagine they would have played a bigger creature first if they actually had it. Sure, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Yep, there you go. You got him. Now, Menace and Ringbearer together is really good, because we can still get through our damage. The only thing here is we have to make sure we keep our hand nice and full. Speaking of, look at that. Extra cards for us. Let's see what we can find. I'd prefer to not draw lands. Well, that's pretty good. Let's move to combat. Draw and discard. Alright, that's really good too. We'll just discard you. 7 damage here. That's gonna put us in lethal range next turn. We can also flash this out. Similarly, I think we play out Gothmog here, go as wide as we can with the board, and then we can use our treasures to flash out the Navigator and secure it if our opponent does anything on their turn to mess with us. Okay, Gothmog. And I want to keep this island and them in hand to protect us of 2 possible removal spells for the Witch King. If they're both at instant speed, I doubt it. I don't think they're going to have a way to deal with him. But it's good to have the cards. Okay, yeah, that's fine. As it stands, we're going to get through for 4 damage next turn, which is enough to kill them. That's assuming they don't block anything else we swing out with. We'll take 2, go down to 12. Now it's going to need to show us something else. But we are in a really strong spot. End of turn, we'll sack the treasures to flash out the Navigator as well. Yep, can't attack with that. Sure, yeah, that's gonna kill that. I'm fine with that. One mana. I'm no longer afraid of the Witch King dying here. And our opponent's not going to be able to block here either. We're in a great spot. All that's left is for us to flash out the Navigator. And then scry, maybe we even find something good on our draw, too. Yep. Alright, here we go, on to my turn. No need to flash out the Navigator, I think we're just gonna play it safe since we have more than lethal on board. Opponent's just playing slow. I think they understand that they lost. It is unfortunate to have to wait this long. I don't think they have any sort of interaction that they can really do. I mean, they can sacrifice another creature to amass 2 orcs and have me lose 1 life. Right? Can sacrifice Golem for that. Change their 3-1 into a 2-2 blocker. I'll lose 1 life. They're definitely not going to have 11 more to deal. Alright, paying 2 life. And then let's just go straight to combat. We've got it. Alright. Alright, 6 wins, 2 losses. It's all down to this. Alright, opponent on the play. This is an interesting starting hand. We don't have all the mana I would want, but we do have a lot of early interaction. I'm going to take the mulligan, though. I think I would rather have something to work towards. We'll bottom the Fell Beast, as sad as it is. We love you, Fell Beast. But this is going to be a much better starting hand. Gives us a little bit more to do in the early game. And it guarantees us our more land drops. Alright. We're not going to deal with that army. Let's scry here. I do like the black land on top. That's going to fix a lot of our mana issues. We're holding up Stern Scolding here. Alright. Now we'll still hold up Stern Scolding. And at the same time, we're gonna keep our opponent's army really hampered, as it's gonna damage them each turn. They'll be growing it each turn as well. But I think this is gonna give them a difficult decision and start letting us get some damage through. And again, having Stern Scolding for their next creature is gonna be really good for us. Okay, they just get rid of it. That's fine. That takes a lot of value off the Black Gate. Okay. Well. Here we go. We've got Death Touch now. Since we are presenting for power on the board, it actually doesn't make sense to block here, because it'll always be better to swing back and deal that 4 damage to our opponent. We can also kill the Warg with our removal spell. Alright, well, there's a Grima. Okay. Here we go. Just gonna go ahead and destroy that real quick. Who do we want our ring bearer to be? I think we're gonna go with Gothmog. And then we'll swing out. That's fine, gets rid of the Death Touch token. Mouth of Sauron. Making a pretty big army. Okay, we do draw the Witch King, but we don't have the land for it. Now, here's an important choice for us. Honestly, I think we're going to pass the turn, hold up Ransom and Scolding. Or, sorry, we can only cast one of those because of our lands. If we find a land, we'll be able to play it. Let's cast the Ransom on our turn. I think that's going to be better. If our opponent shows us a blue land, I'll be taking that. Then we'll hold back Gothmog as a blocker, and then Witch King will hopefully fix our problems. Again, we are looking for a blue land here. That's going to be the best case for us. Well, I mean, can't ask for too much better than that. Everyone's really scared of the Glorious Gale. Now, we could hold up Stern Scolding, but actually, I think it's going to be more advantageous to use that. Let's see. They're on their Orc army, maybe, since that's going to be getting bigger, or on the Mouth of Sauron. Which one would we prefer? I think we're going to set them back off their army. I like that more. Saving us some damage. We'll take 3 from the Mouth of Sauron, and then that's going to be it for us, since we'll be able to play out the Witch King next turn. Okay. This is an important turn for our opponent. With only 2 cards in hand, I'm hoping they're starting to run out of steam. Maybe they're actually gonna sacrifice the Mouth to amass 2? Make their Orc army bigger? No, they're just gonna sacrifice the army instead of have to make the choice. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with that. So 3 cards in hand. Swings out for 3. I don't have to block yet, so I won't. We'll take that. And hopefully that's going to be the last time that we need to take damage. Here's the Witch King. Glorious Gales. That's incredibly disappointing. No attacks. Alright. So now it's going to be a little bit more difficult. We're going to have to take some extra damage this turn. Even though I don't particularly want to. It's going to be what we need to stay ahead. Yep, just 3. We're not going to block until we have to. Yep. Sure. I'm gonna block here. If our opponent has a combat trick, they have a combat trick. Yeah. Sure. Lifelink, make an army. Yeah. It's not the scary combat trick I was afraid of. Alright, next turn we have Knights and the Haunt. Give us some more blockers, maybe? Alright. Knights. And then we'll still be able to hold up Stern Scolding as well. Here's the Haunt. Don't want to draw that next turn. Okay. No attacks. We really need to stabilize with our blockers. That's going to be the toughest part for us. If we can get the Witch King back from our graveyard, that's also going to be huge. Sure, yep. Opponent untaps. They can sacrifice. Yep. Down at 4. 3. So we are going to have to start blocking. The Haunt is going to be able to come back each turn. So I do want to make sure we do that right. Huh. Now we do have a difficult choice here. And I think we block like this. I think this is the best way to do it. They'll kill Gothmog and we'll lose Legendary, so we won't be able to get back our Haunt. But this is going to take our opponent off the most damage. Okay, Warg is also a problem. With Menace, our opponent has it. Alright. It's going to be the end of our run. Well, there you go, everybody. 6 wins, 3 losses. A pretty good run in Premier Draft. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you like this content and want to see more drafts out of me, make sure you let me know in a comment down below. Other than that, if you've been enjoying my content, subscribe to the channel to see all my newest videos. And if you like the video, make sure you hit that like button. I'll see you all next time.